WGIV, Chester, South Carolina. This is the Soul of Charlotte. You are listening to the B.J. Murphy Morning Show, and we got
Beezy.
That's right.
Good morning, everybody out there.
I can't say that. You know
they can too. They're saying it. You don't hear?
Yeah.
I hear them. In my mind, everybody's screaming. Ah! No, but
good coffee.
Man, no coffee yet. This morning we're gonna be interviewing a gentleman by the name of David Marrero. He was incarcerated for a while, and while he was incarcerated, he penned this book. It's like a compilation of poems and different thoughts that he journaled while he was in there. So he sent me his book, and I didn't get a chance to look at it right away. Busy running around doing a lot of things, but yesterday I looked at it, and the first thing that stood out to me was this little passage in here. It says, after years of suffering from depression, rage, anger, and other hurt, self-destructive feelings, David broke down one day in his cell and had a spiritual breakthrough. That's what enticed me to call David. I feel like, you know, at any time a person can find God, whether it's in the trenches, in the streets, in the church, or in a cell, it's always a good thing. So if I can, you know, we're here for a reason.
Of course. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, just finding God, period. But when you're going through that, you know, because some people, it's like a fight or flight, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some people will just keep fighting, keep fighting, you know, instead of just, you know, waking up and saying, you know what, God, deliver me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And, of course, when you're going through the jails, the prisons, and just whatever you're going through in life, it happens. You know?
And that, yeah, if
you can't find them in jail.
Yeah, to the people that don't know, jail will break you down. That is probably, you can say you could be out here bored, ain't got no sneakers, about to be homeless, car broke down. It still does not compare
to jail.
To being incarcerated.
You can't do that.
At all. You wake up because somebody told you to.
Yeah.
You go to sleep because somebody told you to.
You eat.
You can't even use the bathroom if it's the wrong time of day. You know, everything is thought out for you. And it's not even the physical part that is hard. It's the mental and the emotional part, because you're completely removed. And it breaks you down to a point where you are dust, and you have to put yourself back together. You know, and not literally, but in every other way you could think, that's what happens.
Because you're not even a part of society anymore.
Exactly. You're not even counted.
No.
You're not even counted. Your family forgets, your friends forget. And it's not against the family and friends, because life goes on. And, you know, that's what happens. But for the people that are in those situations, it's rough. And, you know, when you get to that point where, you know, you're basically on your knees and you have nothing left, and all you have is to scream out for somebody, anybody to help you. That's when you get that thought, wait a minute, it's only one person that can help me now. You know, you get the, I hope you ain't forgot me, I'm sorry about all I did. If you get me through this, I promise I'll never do it again, you know.
Hey, I've been in church.
That hangover talk all day. Yeah, well, started off, how long you been in Charlotte?
Well, I came to Charlotte almost 3 years ago. My wife and my children, actually my wife's sister, my sister-in-law, her mother were down here, and her mother was sick, so we decided to come down, and we liked it and we stayed.
Okay.
So I've been here about 3 years.
From New York?
That's correct.
What part of New York?
From the Bronx.
Okay. Boogie down. No. So how many books have you penned?
Well, this is the first one I actually published,
right.
But I have a lot of writings. This particular book came about, I was actually writing a self-help book.
Right.
And then my grandmother's passed away in June. Then my cousin passed away in July, my closest cousin, and then my grandfather in August.
All while you were incarcerated?
No, this year.
Okay.
A couple of months ago. Sorry about that.
Oh, you good.
And it just took a different direction. I realized that I was dealing with a lot of unresolved grief.
Right.
From friends and other family members that passed. And like you were saying earlier, a lot of times we're so preoccupied with what's going on in the world, bills, responsibilities.
Right.
I have 5 children, so, you know, my plate is real full.
I know that's right.
Yeah, 5'10".
Yeah, because we're gonna have a moment of silence for the 5 kids.
I got 3 for the kids. For me,
I got 4, and one more seemed like a million, but we don't. Sorry.
One sounds like none for me. Yeah.
I know, right? You got 1 kid, huh?
You ain't doing nothing.
I know. Taking on us in there.
So, all right. So you wrote this book, and it's a compilation of poems and.
Some of it is older writing. Some of it is was inspired by, the losses, and just basically. What my writings reflect is my inner being, like the inner environment.
Yeah,
so that's why it's entitled PaperMirrors Reflections, because as I was writing while I was incarcerated, I utilized writing for comfort, for looking for some type of relief.
And it's therapeutic.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's like it brings the freedom out of it.
Right.
Exactly. It is a freeing thing. Yeah. And what happened with me was I was filled with a lot of rage and self-pity. That was a big one for me, like feeling sorry for myself for what was going on in my life. And one day, I was waiting for mail actually. And I did a lot of box time, a lot of solitary confinement, because I was getting in trouble a lot while I was incarcerated. And my last box stint was about 18 months that I was facing, in a box in a cell by myself, and there were no outlets. There were I couldn't call when I wanted.
Right.
I couldn't eat, because I find comfort in food, as you can see, right? So I like to blame it on the laid back lifestyle down here, but the point is I just like to eat, right?
Wrong with that.
So what happened?
I blame it on the chicken,
And so what happened was, after a few days of not receiving mail, I remember I was waiting for mail. It was a Friday, and we don't receive mail on Saturdays, and that Monday was a holiday. And I was anxious. I wrote about 1,000 letters to people. I was writing to the back of the milk cartons just for more information, just to get some type of mail.
Where can I help you find her at? Because I'm in jail, and I can keep looking out this window. She might cross by.
And what happened was the correction officer came by my cell, and he passed me, and just the anger and the loneliness and all these negative feelings that I was feeling at the time, I just overwhelmed me at that moment. And I was even angry at God. I was angry. I was confused. I was searching. I was questioning a lot of the beliefs that I was taught growing up. And I just broke down one day, and I called out, and I was like, if you real, help me, help me out.
Right.
And I began to cry after, years of holding in stuff.
Right.
And then I just felt lighter, and I began to write, and I began to meditate and pray, and I just got into myself, and something happened, and this awareness, this awakening type of experience.
Awareness.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, that's real. That's real, and I appreciate you sharing. I'm gonna read this little part from his book. Something that I appreciated when I went through it. Rise, my son, for you are a chosen one. I have a purpose for you, to help show others that my kingdom has come. You had to suffer and go through some pains to soften you up and rebuild you again. Watched you go through some trying times. It helped you break down that wall of pride. Now that joy you seek is deep inside. Seek me first, and all else I will provide. Now that's real. Because, any spiritual person, my grandmother will say, through God all things are possible.
Yeah.
Seek God first, and he will line everything else up.